becoming unbearably hot over here by me, so I decided to build in Sulani. I have way too many things going on in my life to take on another legacy challenge, but I was very much inspired by the Sulani Sirens challenge, written by BJ. I'll put a link in the description. This build and lot was inspired by that. Before I get too far, hi! Clayton speaking, welcome to Sticky Sims, my YouTube channel where I like to build and play The Sims. So yeah, while you're here, can I tell you a mermaid story? I feel like it's appropriate to tell you a little mermaid story. I mean, we are here in Sulani, and this hut bungalow is for a mermaid. I guess first let me introduce her. So this is Tangi Daligon. She is merfolk, of course. She's a clumsy child of the islands, and she's also a dog lover. So, similar to the story of the Little Mermaid with Ariel desiring to live with the people, Tangi desires to live on land, not necessarily with people, more for owning a dog. Growing up under the sea, you didn't really have dogs like they have on land. So, Tangi left home, y'all, and she found this little lot right here in Sulani. It's called Reef Finery, and she made a new home for her and her soon-to-be adopted dog. The people of Sulani are still kind of skeptical because, you know, there's this new person in town and she has completely like white hair, her eyebrows and everything, so she definitely doesn't look like she's from here. But to be frank, that's not really why she moved here to begin with. She moved here so that she could adopt a dog. Now, while the house was under construction, we of course needed to work on a means of income. Gotta take care of the poor baby, right? So she decided to write a book, and that kind of fulfills the idea of her having like a passive income from her royalties, when the truth is, she doesn't really need to make money. She can kind of create money. I'm kind of going that whole mystical, magical route with mermaids. So it's like a cover-up, I guess you could say. But anyways, in this little hut that's, you know, quote-unquote under construction, she added just one little bed, right? A nightstand, a desk for her to work on novels. There isn't a full kitchen, more of like a kitchenette, because we put a grill outside. There's only one sink that's shared by the bathroom and the kitchenette. We added a shower in case you need to get the sea off of you for any reason, and a potty. I tried to incorporate some of the other packs and such into her house. The Sulani Sirens challenge required 4 packs, so the Island Living, Love Struck, Businesses and Hobbies, Cats and Dogs. For the most part on the outside, we still want to fit in with, you know, the locals and the vibe of the town, of the neighborhood. So the exterior of the home is mostly Island Living, like assets, through some things like the table and chairs from Businesses and Hobbies on the inside. I got a fan from Love Struck. Actually, I think I have 2 fans from Love Struck. And then I really think only like the pet items are from Cats and Dogs. The only thing that she didn't seem to get was a bin. There's no trash can. That might give her away if she's not, you know, littering, which we know that she's not in her home, or her former home. It's still her home. Oh no, you see those shelves in this little kitchenette area are actually from the Cats and Dogs pack. But yeah, I got sidetracked, you guys. Okay, back to the story. So Tangi moves, she has a home, she adopts, or she wants to adopt a dog, I should say. The adoption agency comes over, and she basically wanted the dog that had been there the longest resident at the shelter. The oldest resident at the shelter was a pit bull adult female by the name of Ducky. So they came over pretty quickly. If you've adopted a animal in The Sims, you know that it happens pretty quickly. They come over, she of course assesses the place, she realizes it's very open, there's, you know, a lot of room for the dog to stretch their legs, you know, run around, have a good time. And Tangi goes over to try to, I guess, introduce herself, and she nearly gets bit, y'all. Ducky was not feeling Tangi at first, and I think it might have had something to do with the fact that she probably didn't smell like other people. Now, her, mysticisms and such don't really work on dogs. It really only kind of works on marine life. So she basically just had to take the advice from the lady that came with Ducky from the center to try giving her a treat. And sure enough, it always works with dogs, They'll trust you if you give them something to eat. So she gave him a little treat, and now we're not as cautious, but we're still not sure where we are with this relationship. You don't want to adopt the dog and the dog not like you or not feel comfortable there. And while things seem amicable, we're still kind of unsure. He still kind of won't go close to Tangy. He still keeps a good safe distance, which that might just be the whole idea of it being a rescue dog. Been at this shelter for a long time. We're just gonna kind of go about our business and act like everything is fine, and that will, rub off on the dog. And hopefully, by the time we really get settled in, the dog will get settled in with us and will allow us to adopt them. So yeah, quickly just to talk about the build. I of course made this with the idea of it being a little one sim mermaid hut household, maybe with the dog. I included this little trellis in the front to create a little entrance. There is a telescope for the logic skill. There's a laptop for lots of other skills. I made sure to include a ladder so you can, of course, swim in the ocean. A fire pit outside if you want to do the fire dance. I didn't really go too heavy on the landscaping just because of how they kind of designed this lot, how it's kind of on the very end of the sandbar. I have a tendency when I go landscaping to just go incredibly lush, and I didn't think that would fit this lot, so I heavily avoided adding any landscaping, which was just strange for me, but I still think it came out pretty cute. There's the canoe so you can get around the town, plenty of places to relax. Threw in a couple of planters so you can work on your gardening skill. Anywho, we have the tour coming up. I hope you enjoyed the build and Tangy's story, so y'all have a beautiful week, okay? Well, love you, bye!